Hey guys, Joe here. Gonna try to play a live match. Often doesn't go very well. But we'll give it a shot. I mean, it doesn't go well because people rage quit all the time, or... well, that's pretty much why. I'll keep this. The opponent told me that he mulliganed before I made my decision. So that makes this even better keep, I think. Alright, so let's see if he's going to scry. Maybe not. Alright. Fair enough. Island into Cursecatcher. Oh, now he's looking, but he knows what I'm playing. Should have waited. Or I should have reminded him, just to be a nice guy. Okay. He likes what he sees. So we'll just start things up here with the Cursecatcher. Obviously I have one or two lands more than I'd like to see in an opening hand, but at least I've got mana for Master of Waves. So we'll see what the opponent's working with. Alright. Well, another land. Makes this keep look a little bit silly now. Let's see. I don't know. Cavern here. Run out the Master. If he wants to bolt something, I can sack the Cursecatcher. Okay. Looks like no bolt yet. It's going to go down to 17, crack his Arid Mesa. So it is a little bit early. Just woke up. So hopefully the brain is not too foggy. The reason I opened with Island rather than a non-basic in Cavern of Souls is that often don't want to give away information about Cavern of Souls on the first turn or second turn. We want to wait until the opponent has potentially left up mana for counterspells before committing Cavern of Souls to the board. But with the opponent with an Arid Mesa, it's possible they're playing something like Jeskai, and they might have had a counterspell in hand, like a Spell Pierce, I guess. I had Cursecatcher I could have sacrificed to counter a Spell Pierce, though. In any event, no real drawback to playing the Cavern of Souls on turn 2. The opponent's going all the way down to 14 here. It looks like they're playing Mardu. Bloodstained Mire, what can we expect to see on turn 2 here? Probably a Blood Crypt here, I would guess, for the land. But as far as what spell to expect, Young Pyromancer maybe? Dreadbore, destroy target creature. Yeah, I'll just counter that. No problem. So maybe next turn we'll see a Kolaghan's Command. Maybe a Lord here would be really nice to draw. Harbinger is not amazing. Take the opponent down to 12. I think I'm going to put this guy on the board right now, even though he's not going to do anything, just because the opponent... let's see, that was sorcery speed. I just want to get Devotion down for Master of Waves. This hand is looking pretty poor with all the lands I have, so this Master of Waves needs to get a lot of value. It's quite possible the opponent has a Path to Exile in hand, playing white. So the Master of Waves might just be a bust. You know, I mentioned at the beginning that this wasn't the strongest hand. Definitely a borderline keep. But with the opponent on 6 cards, you know, we have a bit of an extra advantage. So keeping seems a little bit better, I guess. Okay, so, alright, we're going to see the Thoughtseize. Alright, well, at least the opponent keeps going down. We've got a 2-turn clock on the board, assuming he has no more removal. So Master of Waves goes away. I think this deck takes a lot of damage from its lands, typically. We see a Fetid Heath here. Hopefully we'll draw some Merfolk here. And Reejerey is just what we wanted to see. See, the opponent is on 10. If we attack and he doesn't have anything, it goes down to... let's see, nothing on the board. If I throw a Reej out there and we get hit with Anger of the Gods, it's going to look pretty bad. The opponent is running this hand disruption. I'd feel pretty bad if I kept Reej in hand and then got him plucked out. Yeah, let's just do what Merfolk do, I guess. Turn him sideways, push him damage, get through removal, I guess, so with a little bit more. A few more points of damage with the Reege on the board. So as it stands, he's looking at 7 damage. I'm sure he's got something in his hand to deal with this stuff. 10 minus 7 takes him down to 3. Alright, so not looking too bad. Maybe Reejerey was the correct call there. Not quite sure what the opponent is up to yet. We are a little bit outside of Kolaghan's command damage at this point, since it only does 2 damage to a creature. So it's possible the opponent is struggling because they mulliganed. Maybe they're drawing lands also. And many times it's just best to lean with Merfolk. You know, just get as much damage in as you can, as quickly as possible. Let's say the opponent had removal that turn for Master of the Pearl Trident. By playing Reejerey, I still get 3 damage in. The opponent would have gone down to 7. And then with these 2 guys on the board, I would have had 5. And any Lord off the top would have won me the game through the removal. So, alright, that was game 1. Mardu, what do we want to do? Are they doing anything with the graveyard? They almost certainly have Kolaghan's command, but that by itself is not a strong argument for bringing in Relic of Progenitus. Just tons of removal generally, right? So Dispel's probably good. Negate for board wipes, Damnation, and Anger of the Gods. Might be playing Young Pyromancer, but I think until I see that guy, I can feel comfortable taking out Echoing Truth. I have to assume he's playing something like Tasigur or maybe Kalidas. Vapor Snags maybe could stay in, though I've got the Harbingers to bounce some creatures. Kira's going to be great. Kolaghan's command can deal with AEther Vial, but didn't see that card yet. And do we want to bring the Seize Claims in? Well, I am testing this card, so let's give it a shot. I'll bring the Seize Claims in, take the Vapor Snags out, because as I mentioned, we have Harbingers to interact with creatures, bouncing them as necessary. Cursecatcher is going to be good in the early part of the game, keeping them off of Kolaghan's command for a little while. Master of Waves, excellent against everything except Path to Exile. Yeah, and you still need to take 2 cards out. So, tricky. Didn't see a lot of creatures, so maybe we take 1 Harbinger out, and maybe just 1 Cursecatcher since they're relatively low impact. Alright, so we took out the creature interaction, the 2 Snags and the Echoing Truth, 1 Cursecatcher, and Harbinger brought in 2 Seize Claims, and 2 Negates and a Dispel. Sounds good. Another weird hand. Mutavault plays around. Just telling this guy that I'm thinking. Alright, so 5 land seems like an obvious mulligan, right? Cavern of Souls is not necessary in the matchup. Though, as I mentioned, Mutavault plays around sorcery speed removal like Dreadbore, Damnation, Anger of the Gods. AEther Vial is weak to Kolaghan's command, even though I don't even need this because of the land. Alright, this is a definite mulligan. I'll keep this with the Scry. I don't know. It's tricky, but I don't want to go down to 5. Seems unnecessary. He's probably going to take this away on turn 1. No, we want lands. We really need lands. Bottom the Cursecatcher, and let's see what he's got. Hopefully not a fetch land. Let's just play like a tapped man land or something like that. That would be nice. What is that? Oh, look at that. Shambling Vents, I called it. Tapped man land. No land yet, but Seize Claim. Doing a little bit of work, I guess. Well, that'll give me some devotion for Master of Waves when we get up to that guy, but we're quite a whiles away from casting Master of Waves. Unless I rip like 2 consecutive lands, I think this is going to go downhill pretty quickly. You know, keeping a 1-land hand on a mulligan to 6 with a Scry, playing Merfolk, is usually okay. Alright, so he gets a plains off of his marsh flats. That leads me to believe that he's got more lands in hand. Alright, Wall of Omens. Well, that's going to draw him cards. That's what I want to be doing right now. Draw a land. Wow. Alright, so this mulligan is definitely not getting there. At least right now it's not getting there. So Seize Claim, a little bit awkward here, making me decide to keep that weird 6. But you can't test a land. Sorry, you can't test a new card if you don't actually, if you don't play it. So, all right, opponent passes. We're gonna draw nothing. Well, sorry about this, guys. That was a poor 6. I probably should have mulliganed to 5. Well, opponent has built up a lot of lands here, but he's not casting anything. Oh, I drew a Cursecatcher. At least I don't have to discard something. Island Walk is online, for what it's worth. We do have 1 Island Walk Lord, and a million other cards. Alright, so what is this guy doing with this Mardu deck? Okay, here's a Kalitas. That's a bit of a clock. Another Blackleaf Cliffs. As I mentioned, fetching the plains, it was reasonable to expect that he had lands in hand. Alright, so now we're going to have to discard. I think we'll just discard the Negate at this point. Well, Negate is something I can actually cast off a Mutavault. This guy's just too far away. I'm gonna discard this guy for now. So we're 11 cards into the deck. You can see because of the 49 here, and only 1 land. Statistically very improbable, but obviously happens from time to time. All right, opponent's gonna start making zombies, gaining life, playing lands. Okay, missed his lifelink and then remembered it. It's not really something you're allowed to miss. It's not a trigger. It's just the in-game effect. So I would have reminded him if he forgot about his lifelink. Okay, so what's happening here? He's probably thinking about whether or not he should use one of the 4 Angers of the Gods in his hand on my Cursecatcher. Why not? Anger of the Gods is a little bit of a anti-combo with Kalitas because it exiles things. This guy wants things to actually go to the graveyard. So 3 mana, 4 mana, leaving his white up. Anger of the Gods! No, you didn't. Okay. Doesn't get a zombie. Okay. I think this guy might be a little new to this deck. Might be a brew of his. Opponent doesn't really know what he's doing. This is why live matches are not always the best. So we're going to read Anger of the Gods. Anger of the Gods deals 3 damage to a creature. If a creature dealt this damage would die, exile it instead. Okay, so no zombie yet. But the guy did kill a Cursecatcher. Alright, we finally hit a land. And we can bounce the Kalitas. That's nice. Another option is just to play the Silvergill Adept out. But to draw a card. But I think I just want to bounce the Kalitas. That's always fun. So this guy has had 3 or 4 turns of me doing nothing to develop his board. He's going to pay 2 mana now to do something. Alright, so he's responding to the bounce. Probably going to try to kill this guy, get a zombie. Gaining more life. He will get a zombie off the Harbinger. And that's all I've got. But the Kalitas is bounced. The opponent is getting a little bit low on cards. So I've still got Silvergill in hand. Almost certainly going to replay the Kalitas this turn. That'll use most of his mana. If I draw a land next turn, I think I'll probably run out the Kira. Okay, here he comes. Opponent got a Sacred Foundry out of his deck. Okay, there's Kalitas. I think we're going to get hit for 2 with the zombie. Okay, plays another land. Got plenty of lands. Down to 15. If I don't draw a land, do I bounce the zombie? I guess. And if we play the AEther Vial and then he plays Kolaghan's Command, that's unfortunate. He's almost certainly got some removal in his hand. If I play the Silvergill, he's going to bolt it, get another zombie, and just keep attacking me. Digging ourselves out of ridiculous holes like this, where we keep a 1-lander on a Malta 6, is, often it might seem like it's not even worth it. Like, just, concede. Maybe we're just going to use the Harbinger effect to bounce Kalitas, like, next turn. Maybe it's not worth it just to bounce a zombie. Alright, so here's Silvergill. I'll reveal a Lord. Probably assumes I have one of those in hand anyway. Oh, we drew a land. That's nice. So at this point, we can show that Lord again. So this comes in untapped. And now we'll go ahead and play this AEther Vial. Alright, so Kolaghan's Command is still a blowout. But just trying to dig ourselves out of this hole. Still have a bounce effect with Harbinger of the Tides. Now that we see a bit of the opponent's deck, so we may want to leave the Vapor Snags in for Kalitas. Opponent's still at 24 life with 4 cards in hand and 7 lands on the board. Here's that bolt I was talking about. Alright, gonna make another zombie. But we still have a little bit of life to work with. I don't really care about the opponent's life total. At this point, I'm just trying to get some things going. Okay, tapping white, red, and black. Oh, he's going to eat a zombie. Alright. That's fine. Gain a little extra life. Makes sense. Maybe that implies he doesn't have anything to do with his mana other than that. Okay. I'm going to take 7 here. Alright. Getting pretty low on life. Opponent's going to gain 5. Again, life total kind of irrelevant. If I can stabilize, I can stabilize. If I can't, I can't. Him eating a zombie is really nice because now I get to bounce him. And that effectively kills a zombie and the Kalitas. So Kira would be decent here, except we're at low life now, and need to worry more about dealing with the opponent's board right now than developing our own. So we are going to bounce the Kalitas. Probably has another bolt, probably going to get another zombie. Murderous cut, I guess. 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5. Okay, so that's going to destroy him. All good. So clearly Kira would be excellent. Getting to see a lot of the opponent's deck in this second game. Alright, so opponent has 2 zombies and I have nothing else to do. I'll finally have AEther Vial on next turn, but at this point when he plays Kalidas back out, I'm going to be at 4 life after zombie attacks. Opponent might just be able to burn me out. Just couldn't quite get there this game. Harbinger's got me some time. We got to see a bunch of cards. We see he has a lot of spot removal. Okay, going down to 4, maybe Bolt and Helix or something like that. I just end this charade as quickly as possible. Alright, looks like we're going to see Kalidas again. Tap that Shambling Vents maybe? Alright. He got there. Kalidas with 3 cards in hand. Oh no, Gideon, what is this? Well, as I mentioned, it's good to see what cards the opponent is playing. I don't know if this changes my sideboard plan too much. Alright, so making a Knight ally. Fair enough, just gonna lean on me. I like it. Good plan. Okay, another Wall of Omens. It might be time to scoop it up, but another land. I might be able to live. Oh, let's not miss our AEther Vial trigger. Oh, there we go. That's pretty nice. Still pretty clunky. I can play 1 Lord here, leave up mana for Negate, bring in a 2nd Lord, eat 2 of these zombies. If Gideon attacks next turn, that's going to be gross. Need to chump him. And then I'm taking 4 from the other guy, so I would need to play 3 creatures to live. Don't think that's an option here. So let's just put it in the opponent's hands. If he activates Gideon, then, you know, good for him. He got there. But maybe he'll make another Knight. Maybe he'll try to cast a Lightning Helix. As we saw, he didn't really know how Anger of the Gods worked, so maybe not the sharpest of opponents. So we're going to hope that he makes a misstep here. I mean, we're telegraphing quite a lot here with this AEther Vial being up on 2. But again, just, you know, at this point, the only thing we can possibly do is hope that the opponent has no idea what he's doing. Okay, so he's plussing him. That's not a good sign. Okay, Kalidas. Are we attacking with everybody? Can block, take 4, and yep, that'll do it. So good game. He got there. We got stuck. So these seize claims. So he has a lot of lands, and he doesn't play that many creatures. If we can get ahead on board, one of these effects will be enough just to get through with Island Walk. Kalidas, let's see. So he is digging a little bit with things like Murderous Cut. He's delving. May have other delve spells, but Relic still doesn't look very, very good. Harbinger does look good. Tidebinder, not good. Vapor Snags are pretty good. So I think I'll take out one more Cursecatcher. Yeah. Keeping the counter spells in. He's got a lot of spot removal, like we saw, and Anger of the Gods. Want to be able to deal with that. And with all those lands, Cursecatcher might be a little bit irrelevant. Though we are reducing our number of bodies a little bit. At this point, we're only taking 3 cards out to bring in the 3 counter spells. And 2 of those are sort of counterspell effect creatures. Maybe it's better just to push, like, you know, with as many Cursecatchers as possible. Yeah, and we can just play smart and not overcommit. I like having more creatures in the deck. He probably doesn't have that many Wraths, since it looks like he's trying to go a little bit wide. I don't know. These Mardu builds are... I took out the Echoing Truth. Actually, that might not even be correct against zombies. And Bounce is really good against Kalidas in general, if that's, you know, his win condition. Echoing Truth, zombies, Bounce a Gideon, Dispel. Oh, Dispel protects my plan, though. Alright, I'm ready. So basically not changing the board at all, just taking out Echoing Truth in favor of a single Dispel. So that last game, you know, Seize Claim might have been better as another card, but really the match was decided when I whiffed on land draws for the first 3 or 4 turns, and this is excellent. On the play, get the AEther Vial out. Even if he takes away a Silvergill, I'll be able to. So unfortunately, he's mulliganing here. I'd really rather just get a good game. Alright, so he's keeping and scrying. Let's see what he does. Alright, so looking at the top, hasn't made his decision. Alright, so he likes it. Very good. We'll open with Island into AEther Vial. Strong plays. So he did like what he saw, so hopefully he has a decent hand at this point, and let's see if we see some hand disruption here. Okay, nothing of the sort. Oh, so what's happening? Okay, smart. So I can't hit it with Spreading Seas. Letting him know that it's okay. Draw step, and I'll draw my card. An island is very nice. 2 lands is pretty tight. Since we have AEther Vial, I think it's safe to play out Mutavault. I can get the Lord onto the battlefield with AEther Vial next turn. We'll play the Mutavault as a potential extra attacker, play a Silvergill, and reveal another Silvergill. Going well so far. Gonna draw a card. So another land. Alright, we've hit all the lands we want to see now. Just Merfolk from here on out. Merfolk and Vapor Snags. Actually, maybe a Dispel would be nice. That one Dispel that I brought in. Now we have to be careful not to overextend against Anger of the Gods and possibly Damnation, but we also need to push damage. Mutavault is great for that. Playing around that sorcery speed removal. If the opponent leaves up mana, though, might be a little dicey attack with Mutavault because dies to Terminate, dies to Bolt, dies to Lightning Helix. Opponent has cracked his fetch land to get a Sacred Foundry on his on my end step. And let's see what he does for his second turn. So ideally, you know, we'd see something like a Master of Waves or another Lord on this draw step. Silvergill, you know, I would never complain about. Cursecatcher is actually pretty good because it slows the opponent down on his Anger of the Gods and removal. I wonder if he's, you know, contemplating whether I have the Cursecatcher right now. If I was him, I probably wouldn't waste the Terminate at sorcery speed against a Silvergill Adept. Not sure what he's thinking about here. So he does go to his end step. Gonna untap and put this thing on 2. Draw a card. Alright, Spreading Seas is quite nice here. Like if he has, for example, like a Terminate, we get to suss it out right now. because he needs to use all of his mana here, black and red. Lightning Helix, same deal. So it doesn't push damage quite as quickly, but the opponent did mulligan, and that's usually a good time to deploy early Spreading Seas in case they're low on lands. So what do we take him off of is the question. I think the deck is looking for double black to get Kalitas, so I think we'll hit the Black Cleave Cliffs. We're going to start with Spreading Seas and see what happens. See if we can get some removal out of him in response. It's possible he just has Bolt, in which case this is okay. Alright, so he's thinking about it. We play the Spreading Seas first, just in case I draw another Mutavault. I might want to play that out this turn, so I can attack with 2 of them next turn. Okay. What are we going to see? Wear Tear. Destroying target artifact. He didn't need to do that now. Okay, so what do I want to bring in here? So it is good that we drew these lands, since the AEther Vial is going to be offline now. So what do I want to bring in? I can bring in a Lord and do more damage, but he's probably setting up for an Anger of the Gods next turn. So I'm not going to be... I have a land to play, and if I draw a Cursecatcher, I can play my land... So, Silvergill Adept. I think I'll go... The next turn... Yeah, I think I'm okay. I think I'm going to play Silvergill Adept. Alright, we drew a Vapor Snag, so that's interesting, since I'll have an island up to play with it. So now, going to attach this, and draw another card. Drew another island, not the best. I'll play an island, attack for 2. So I like the card draw I've had early on in this game. 2 Silvergills and a Spreading Seas, giving me a lot of information, a lot of cards to work with, drawing me through these lands so that hopefully my top decks on the coming turns will be all Merfolk all the time. Let's see, if he taps out, I can play a land, play a Lord, swing for 3 with Mutavault. See, yeah, if he plays Anger of the Gods to get rid of these 2 Spreading Sea Silvergill Adepts. Okay, Bloodstained Mire, going down to 16. Going down to 14. I can dig it. Probably a Blood Crypt, I guess, or maybe a Godless Shrine. Depends on what he has in hand. If he gets double white, he's probably got a Gideon. If he gets double black, he's probably got Kalitas. In either event, he's almost certainly getting red. All right, so there it is. That's he's got black mana. It makes sense, right? Because he has no black mana right now. Tapping all that stuff for Anger of the Gods, no problem. All part of the plan. Opponent doing 3 damage to himself is quite nice. So now, I guess there's a question about what I should do. I can play out a Cursecatcher, swing for 2. No, I can play a, let's see, play Reejerey, play a Cursecatcher, untap a land, leave Vapor Snag up for Kalitas, and then next turn I would be swinging, if I play the Lord, be swinging for 3, 6, 10, not lethal. I'll play the Lord now and swing for 3. That doesn't leave any mana up. But if he plays Kalitas, then I'll get to bounce that guy on my own turn if I want. I mean, usually Reejerey, if we've got the mana, is the best play. Opens up things like Harbinger on the next turn. But do we want to give up pushing some damage this turn in order to play Reejerey? Let's see. Well, I'll have 5 lands next turn. I don't really need his tap and untap stuff going on right now. I've got a Vapor Snag, so the combo with Harbinger is not strictly necessary at this point. I think I'm going to play Minamo, play a Lord, and swing for 3. Need to keep the clock ticking. Okay, so it takes 3. Let's see if the opponent has that 4th land. I mean, Gideon's not great right now because I now have Island Walk online. Same thing with Kalidas, really. Another Island Walk Lord would be great now that we do have the Spreading Seas out. This guy can start attacking sort of without any worries. Well, assuming the opponent is tapping out. I mean, you can see what a difference it makes being on the play and having the opponent on a mulligan. With us having not mulliganed, when we draw these Silvergill Adepts, we have so many more cards to look at. Hitting our lands, hitting our creatures, have some interaction in hand. Mutavault is doing a great job. Okay, opponent thinking very carefully about their land that they're fetching here. Basic swamp makes sense. Let's see, so if we see Kalidas, I think I'm getting pretty close to lethal here. But no, maybe Kolaghan's Command. Liliana, okay. So -2, -1 is not going to get there against my Lord. Okay, so she's giving him -2, -1 until your next turn. So I'll go ahead and actually update this guy. So he's testing out the new Liliana. I've heard some good things about this card. I haven't played against it very much. Alright, so we drew another land. That's not the best. Let's see. If we activate Mutavault and attack, we can take Liliana down to 3, but do we even care about her? So you put the top 2 cards of your library. He needs to get all the way up to 7 to have his ultimate. Put the top 2 cards of your library into graveyard, then you may return a creature card from your graveyard to your hand. I don't think he has any creatures in there right now. He does not. So do we... Let's see. Tricky spot. I think I don't care about Liliana. But I don't have a lot of creatures. I keep hitting lands. So do I play Reejerey and attack him with Mutavault, the Lord, for 5, I guess? But then I'm not leaving up Vapor Snag. Again, it doesn't matter. It doesn't have any creatures right now. And I can do it on my next turn. And do we run Cursecatcher out? I mean, it's quite possible he's got another board wipe in hand, and he's got mana to pay for Cursecatcher at this point. I think we can afford to play Reejerey. And attack him. I guess I'll update this guy since I'm... So we're trying to just get the opponent down to 0. This is 4 plus 1 here. So he's probably just thinking about which creature to kill here. There's a path, and who's he going to hit? A lot of good choices here. Alright, so he hit the Reejerey. He's going to take a 3 instead, I guess. I'm trying to view my library, but it's super slow. Actually, no. So he's taking 3. Since the Mutavault is getting bigger. Alright, so he took 3, and this guy is a 0-1 still. Did I play my land? Ugh, just losing track here. I like still having the Mutavault because it plays around board wipes. I have no idea what this guy has in hand. I've been hitting too many lands recently. Actually, you know, he gave us this one, but, you know, I think we got 6 lands all on our own. Okay, so she's ticking up again. Go ahead and update this guy. Thoughtseize, well, does some damage to him, so can't really complain about that. I don't have very high value cards in my hand. He's gonna, I don't know which ones he's gonna take. I guess it depends on what he has. Okay, takes away the Vapor Snag. Now Vapor Snag, useful because it does that 1 point to damage in this spot. Mutavault is swinging for 3. Does he have land and Kalitas? That would be uncomfortable for me. Actually, not really, because I can still attack with the Mutavault through with Island Walk. So this Liliana so far would clearly be much, much better as old Liliana in this particular game. Spreading Seas is nice. I like it. Not going to shut him off anything. I don't know. I could take him off of double red. That's nice. Let's go ahead and point at that Blood Crypt. Doing this now, avoiding, I don't know. I guess not really. Avoiding Terminate on Mutavault, I guess. Since he does. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and attach that. He's not floating anything. I can dig it. Well, another land is not what I wanted to see. Liliana's getting a little bit higher than I would like. At this point, this Cursecatcher is just dead weight in my hand. Okay. All right, let's see if we can do something with Mutavault. Does the opponent have... Oh, it does not. So let's just check this history quick. I'm a little foggy. Not sure if I played a land yet. Don't think so. We'll go ahead and do that. We'll play the spreading Cavern of Souls, just in case he's playing something like Boil. That'd be fun though against himself as well, since he has 2 islands right now. All right, so we took him off double red. That feels pretty good. This guy's back up to a 2/2. So far, it looks like we made the right decision not attacking Liliana, since she hasn't really... She's not getting too close to the ultimate yet. He'd have to plus her this turn, and plus her next turn, and then the following turn, he could finally do the ultimate. The ultimate. So him taking the Vapor Snag makes me think that he has some creature, but not really necessary. I mean, not really important since I have Island Walk. Seems to be having a hard time getting rid of this Island Walk Lord. Okay, so Cursecatcher is currently a 0/1. Very good. Actually, it might kill him if he kills the Lord of Atlantis, but then might just be dead to Mutavault swings. So if he can get rid of the Lord, then Liliana... Oh. Does he have anger? Oh, all right. Well, he left the game. So, thanks for watching, guys. That was a Mardu Brew testing the new Liliana, I guess, and getting some value off of Kalitas. The second game we didn't draw any lands, so that was a little bit boring. We did our best. Leave any comments you might have as usual. And you know, the quality of this match wasn't necessarily as high as some of my replay matches, but when I'm doing live stuff, I can't really ask for much more than this. So I'll catch you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.